Hey, Invincible here. In this video, I'm going to teach you a very powerful tool that I've been using for quite some time that can guarantee you inner freedom and the ability to live in the flow state, to have a consistent flow of power and dynamism and ease and freedom in your life by just simply applying this tool to yourself whenever you choose. Now, I discovered this through working with people intimately in a small group I developed in 2013 called the Core Encounter. And the idea is to be the invitation for that which we have not been aware of, or that which we may be resisting at some level. So it's counterintuitive because our resistance, our opposition to certain ideas, to experiences, to events, past, present, or even ideas about what might happen in the future, the resistance that we automatically operate in is a way of basically running our life with the brakes on. And it's something that we just don't always see, and sometimes even feels like a necessary and important quality to have. And there may be a use for that, but I'm going to say that for now, let's just look at the possibility that resisting anything in yourself or in your life actually can produce a tremendous amount of slowdown and take you out of the flow state, can start to be experienced as conflict or lead you to get into conflict with various people, events, or situations that you find yourself in, or things that you're perceiving in your own mind. So basically, being the invitation is the tool. Being the invitation, welcoming, inviting, opening up to, allowing in. This basic tool of being the invitation has an opposite, and that opposite is being the interruption. Now, being the interruption is not a form of resistance that we use to just continue to oppose a particular experience, person, or part of ourself. Being the interruption means that we are interrupting our tendency to resist, right? So we're not resisting it, we're just interrupting it by making ourselves aware of it and then shifting the opposing, resisting quality that we are experiencing in our mind and within our emotions and our perception, basically. So by taking a look at a situation that you are challenged in, and we're going to do an example at the end of me just breaking this down for you so you can actually experience this in a guided process for yourself. But being the invitation to something in your life that's opposing you, or that you're opposed to, or something within you that may be uncomfortable or discomforting in some way, it allows you to release the resistance that you're experiencing almost immediately. Now, let's just take a look at how I was using this originally. As I was working with clients in the group of the Core Encounter, there was about 6 people plus myself facilitating the group. I noticed that there were aspects of the person and their experience that they were in resistance to, incidents that happened in their past or current situations. So as I began to want to explore that, I had a natural inclination or desire, a curiosity to open up to it, to want to explore it, because I'd already been doing this with myself for some years now, having turned my life around from some very seriously challenging situations and difficulties that I got myself into and pain that I grew up in. I learned to get curious, and I learned to welcome and invite into awareness the things that were previously being opposed and resisted by myself or my activities. And to be more specific, I was a criminal and a drug dealer who nearly died in '99, and that caused me to want to turn my whole life around. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to keep living that way. And so I gave up everything that I was doing and being, and then I discovered there was a whole bunch of stuff inside of me that I had been opposing, that I'd been avoiding, that I'd been resistant to. And I just naturally, back in the year 2000, as I began meditating and contemplating on new possibilities for life and how I got the way I got and what I could do to make a difference, I just naturally began to open up to and invite these different parts of my experience that I had suppressed, that now were repressed and no longer even conscious until this very moment. And by inviting all these parts and these experiences into my view, I began to find a great amount of relief. I was able to change my life rapidly. And so I also started applying this with my clients in the small group, the Core Encounter, the way it was designed back in 2013. And I noticed that people began to feel better almost immediately. They began to share things about themselves to themselves and with others. And there was this mutual being the invitation presence that I would be and they would be, but also the other group members would be it as well. And so there was this just welcoming, inviting, allowing presence that I and the group members were being that really helped the single person that we might be focusing on at the time welcome or invite the parts of themselves that they typically have been shutting out. And so basically the core encounter essentially was an opening and an access to the subconscious content and a way of discharging the resistance and the opposition that we carried within. And I benefited greatly because as everyone navigated their own inner world and began to move through their own subconscious and to invite and allow and to share, and we all began to invite and allow them to share, there was this tremendous amount of energy and aliveness and freedom and flow that was experienced. And it was so beautiful. And I began to want to develop this even further, find ways to accelerate this possibility and this process. And I've been doing so ever since, about 8.5 years later. And it's exciting how rapid this work really is. If you want to stay in the flow state, if you want to experience inner freedom, learning to be the invitation to yourself and to your experience entirely, no matter what's there, is important. But what exactly are we inviting? I want to break it down for you. So in inner coaching, the system and methodology that I've developed, and I've coined this term inner coaching for myself and for my team and for the work that we're doing, because it really reflects our focus. The inner world or the inner workings of the human being is our primary foundational focus. Now that leads to outer world results and transformations and possibilities. And of course, we wouldn't be doing this inner coaching if it didn't have outer world benefits. And it absolutely does. And very rapid benefits, or rapidly showing up benefits, because of the speed at which this actually works. Most of us don't realize how much the conditions of thought, emotion, feeling, and sensation in our body, and the unconscious effort impulses that are habitually running dominate our life and prevent us from having what we want, being who we want to be, or doing the things that we really want to do. So inner coaching is a fast-acting tool for penetrating right to the core, to the source, the root cause of the conditions that are causing resistance to achievement of whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it's achieving personal peace or something in the world, something in your relationship. So we look at 4 dimensions of the human consciousness, and I mentioned them already. It's the realm of thought or mind, our thinking, our memories, our conclusions, our beliefs in the cognitive aspect of our consciousness. But we also look to emotion, the second domain. And emotion is also, there's beliefs that take the form of emotional charges along with the thoughts that are connected to them. But emotions like fear, anger, lust, grief, apathy, shame, love, joy, there can be a tremendous amount of repressed emotion, both positive, what we would call positive emotions, and what we would call negative emotions. Either way, repression of any emotion is a resistance, and it prevents flow. So we've talked about the 2 domains of thought or mind, and we've talked about emotion. The next domain that we're looking into, it's extremely important, that most of us rarely take a look at, is our body, the somatic domain, the feelings and the sensations, okay? Like pressure in my chest, pressure in my stomach, or butterflies or queasiness, or tightness in my neck or in my forehead. These subtle sensations that are typically happening below the level of awareness, when brought to awareness, actually start to enable us to relieve those particular forms of tension. They are a resistance, and they are indicators of past pain, certain conclusions, and we would call that a chronic restimulation of some prior painful event that we're not even necessarily conscious of, but because it's affecting us in the present moment, it's affecting the quality of our life, the ability to be in flow, the ability to be productive, the ability to experience love and freedom and joy, and inner peace and calm within ourselves. And so we want to take a look at the somatic domain, and we want to bring relief to that as well. We're looking to reduce resistance in thought, emotion, feelings, and sensations of the body. And in the last realm, we're looking at the effort impulses. Now, effort impulses are these unconscious directives to do something, right? And they can be subtle and directed interiorly, such as the effort to be mad, okay? We can actually pick up and discover an effort to be angry. It actually takes effort to be mad. There's like a choice, there's like a decision. But most of us have lost sight of these choices. We've lost sight of these decisions that have been made, and now they run unconsciously automatically. So we want to look at these effort impulses. Now, effort can also be producing action, the effort to cross the street, for example, or the effort to throw something at somebody, or the effort to say certain things. By discovering the efforts and the subtle, I would say the more root point of action, right? What's even more root and more foundational to any activity is these effort impulses. By getting to these roots, and everything we're doing is about getting to the roots and, pulling things up from the roots so that we're not just chopping off the tops and, of the weed, and then the weed continues to grow, no problem. We want to pull it up by the roots and completely eliminate this thing altogether. So we look at the root causes, and the effort impulses are deep roots of activity. Either activity directed inwardly towards our own mind, emotions, body, self, or activity directed to different efforts in the world to produce something or to interact with people. And so by inviting all of this into awareness, we start to refile these unconscious automatic conditions into conscious awareness. And the automatic conditioning only has power as long as it remains in the unconscious domain. It's just the way that part of our brain and nervous system and body work. It's very stimulus and response oriented, which simply means that if something happens in my experience through my sensory input that my brain already has an automatic response to or reaction to, it's going to fire. If I've given it power to do so, time and time again, year in, year out, then it's going to just now take on a life of its own. And this is where we get out of control of our lives. And so there's a lot of talk about how we have free will, but it can come into questions like, well, do we actually have free will? Because most of us might experience ourselves, if we really examine our lives, and as we start to examine our lives, we'll find out that a lot of our life is not necessarily free will at all. It's now just this automatic conditioning, our automatic thinking, emotions, and feelings of the body, and effort impulses that are driving and dictating our behavior and controlling our experience. So there is really a tremendous lack of freedom and a tremendous amount of resistance that can automatically be wired up and conditioned. And none of this is bad, and none of this is wrong. In fact, as I tell my clients all the time, you're working perfectly, regardless of what's going on. Even though you might be unhappy with the quality of your experience, which is totally okay. And we totally validate and accept that this is uncomfortable and this is not how you want things to be. It is, though, important to begin working with this effectively, to start to accept that this is a perfect function. Everything that's going on, even if it's something you don't want to be there, it has perfect functioning. And the reason this is important is so that we can understand the laws that govern how it operates. What this does is it helps us realize that nothing's happening by chance, but everything's happening by very precise laws and functions of human consciousness. And so in inner coaching, I have mapped out these laws, these rules, these mechanisms of mind, emotion, body, feeling, sensation of the body, and effort impulses very thoroughly. I've explored them very thoroughly within myself, within others, and because of that, I have begun to see the machine-like quality and realize that no matter how bad it is in my own experience, or yours, or anyone else's, there is a perfect mechanism at work. And when we start to understand that mechanism and see what's been recorded, what's operational there, we can actually now and just welcome that in, be the invitation for it, explore it openly. Now we can see what's really driving our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and our behavior. And this is really powerful. Very, very powerful. Most of us have never been given this manual and this understanding, and we've never been led to discover this. So inner coaching is very much a training on how to navigate and tweak your own consciousness for your own purposes and your own benefit. And I've studied things like NLP and hypnotherapy and all forms of coaching, performance coaching, many forms of transformative work, all kinds of somatic experiencing, many forms of therapy. I've been studying, researching, practicing, and applying many different tools for a long time to understand this inner world, what's causing human beings to be the way they're being. And I've really taken all the best of these systems that I've studied and extracted those things, combined them in certain ways that make this work very efficient, very gentle, painless even, compared to some of the systems I've experienced myself and have applied to myself and have been applied to me, and the things I've seen applied to others or even applied to others in the past that can be re-traumatizing, that can be slow, boggy, clunky. I'm just not interested in that. I have a direct mission to make this transformational experience for a client be as fast as possible, as gentle as possible, as comfortable as possible. And I've gotten it to a place that I'm very proud of. And so I call that inner coaching. So it's a conglomerate of things, plus a lot of my own unique techniques and developments. I'm a creator. I love to create. I'm an innovator. I'm an artist in many different rights. And so I apply that creative ability inside of this world of inner coaching. And I'm going to give you an experience right now to practice being the invitation. All right, to be the invitation for whatever you may be resisting within yourself or something in the world. Now, I advise you to take on something light, not too heavy, something that is a little challenging to you, but maybe not so, dramatically intense. And if you're open and you would like to explore this with me and test out what I'm saying and the benefit of what I'm saying for yourself, because really I could say anything, but it's until you put it into practice and test it and experience it that it's really, it's not going to matter until then. So I invite you to test what I'm saying, to put it to work for yourself right now. And the way that we'll do that is just have you begin to sit comfortably if you're not already, or lie down, it's okay. And just begin to reduce the amount of sensory input by closing your eyes, if you're okay with that. You can keep your eyes open if you are uncomfortable, so don't force anything. But it can help to close your eyes because of the lower amount of input coming in, right? Visual stimulation is quite a lot of stimulation for the brain. But if you're comfortable with it, stay eyes open. So go ahead and just begin to relax the body a little bit more by noticing the area around your face. And notice the different facial muscles and if there's any tension, and just begin to let them go. Begin to release the cheeks and the jaw. And maybe take a nice breath and let it out. That just happened very naturally for me. And begin to let go of any tension in the forehead. As you release the muscles in the body, you'll begin to experience a greater sense of ease and freedom in the body. We're literally deliberately inviting into awareness any tension or any resistance we're holding in the body. So we're applying this principle of being the invitation to the body domain right now. And by letting go of any tension, relaxing any tension, you're beginning to release resistance. And that is our game. So it starts with the body. Keep relaxing any tension you feel around your temples, your crown, the top of your head, around the back of your head, around your neck, your throat. Just start to relax, start to let go, and just be in your body comfortably, softening the muscles, softening the shoulders, softening the chest, softening the arms, all the way down to your hands and fingers. And let the solar plexus relax. Let your stomach relax. The solar plexus is that area just under your heart. And allow the breath to just be as it is. Noticing the air coming in through the nose, out through the nose. By tuning into the breath, you're beginning to become aware of an autonomic process. It's a process that happens unconsciously, automatically. So this begins to connect us to that area of the subconscious. You may also notice that you have an urge to swallow at some point, and just become aware that you want to swallow and become aware of the swallowing. And just allow it to happen gently and gracefully. Now let's take an intentional breath through the nose in and through the mouth out. 2 more like that. Nose in, mouth out. Through the nose in, mouth out. We're going to take a very big breath in and hold this breath at the top. Ready? Through the nose in. And hold. And relax the chest, the neck, the shoulders, the belly. Swallow your saliva. Just feel the saliva running down. Make your lips into a tiny pinhole. Slowly release the air. And just be. Just continuing to allow yourself to relax, to be at ease in this moment. And to just feel the body, allowing it to be just as it is, allowing the mind to just be as it is. There's nothing to change or to force in this moment. You're simply allowing all that is to be all that is. And notice how relaxing and comforting it is to just let go and to just be the invitation for whatever is present without having to do anything at all. Simply allowing, inviting, and welcoming everything that you're experiencing, every sensation, everything happening within you, anything that you hear or sense going on around you. Just allowing. This is being the invitation. Again, notice how comforting and relaxing it is to just welcome it all. And so now, let's take a look at something that was a little challenging for you. Maybe an interaction with someone, a situation in your life, nothing too heavy, nothing too intense, something simple, but something that maybe is unresolved for you. And just begin to welcome or invite this into awareness. Notice the thoughts and just observe them. Let them be exactly the way they are. And if you can, let go, just for now, of any effort to change anything about the situation. This allows you to more fully invite all the different parts of this experience into awareness, including any effort to change it. Notice that. If it seems like you can't let that effort to change it go, well, just invite that into awareness. Notice that part of you that wants so much to change the situation. Just invite that in to awareness. And can you also invite the emotions that are present? Is there any fear? Is there any anger? Is there a feeling of disappointment, discouragement, hopelessness? Just notice what's there allowing yourself to invite into awareness whatever is there, and to the best of your ability, letting go of any effort to change, to hide or suppress any of these emotions. Just notice them and observe them. You may notice also that you're able to witness these emotions and not be so controlled by them, not feel overrun or overwhelmed by them. That's what this type of process can give you. And this gives the emotions a chance to just be and to relax. We're going to go a little bit deeper now and look into the somatic region, the body. What are the feelings and sensations in the body, and where do you feel them when you think about this challenge, when you focus on this challenge? What do you feel in your body and where? And take a look at the area around your head, your face. Is there any tension? Is there any tightness, any discomfort? Take a look at your neck and throat, your chest, and just welcome or invite the sensations into awareness. The space within your heart, what do you feel there? What do you sense there? Your solar plexus just below the heart, the stomach, all of your body, your arms and legs and hands and feet. What sensations are present? Can you invite the sensations into awareness a little bit more? The sensations of the body relating to this challenge, this issue. And just allowing them to be as they are. And notice how relaxing and freeing it is to just let things be. This is the process of reducing resistance. And as you reduce resistance, you increase flow. If you're riding your bike and you're riding with the brakes on all the time, you have to work harder and you slow down. You don't get as far as fast. But when you let go of the brakes, you'll notice that you can begin to cruise a lot faster and easier. There's an effortlessness and a flow. And so this is you giving yourself a chance to ease off the brakes, to welcome a little bit of flow, and to make it a little bit easier. Some of us, not that braking is bad or wrong, but oftentimes we tend to overbrake. We create a tremendous amount of resistance unnecessarily. And we tend to impede our progress, and basically this is what we would call stress in the system. And it can get very extreme. It can become more than just stress. It can become things like anger and rage or even depression if we're resisting too strongly. But just notice what you feel in the body and allow it to be here. And taking a look at this challenge, now reflecting on the domain of effort. Is there an effort to change this situation? And just for now, can you invite into awareness any efforts that you notice? Just letting them be as they are. Is there an effort to control someone or something or even yourself? Just notice. Is there an effort to force anything to happen? Just notice that. And notice how simply noticing begins to bring relief and relaxation. Good. Okay, we're going to wrap this up with a few breaths. Take one in through the nose, in through the mouth out, through the nose in, through the mouth out, through the nose in, through the mouth out. Last breath you're going to take in and hold at the top. And now relax the body. Swallow the saliva. Make your lips into a tiny pinhole. Slowly exhale. Just allow the body to be, and you just be. Just be at ease. Enjoy this moment. Notice the quality of your experience. Notice how you feel. And just allow this freedom to be just as it is. There's nothing to hold on to. And there's nothing to force here. This is you, as you truly are, at the core or the center of being. There's always peace. There's always calm and stillness when you simply allow all that is to simply be as it is, especially all that you are in thought, emotion, body, and effort. When you release all of that by giving it space and room to just be, then you can just be. And there's great freedom here. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. I would love to hear your comments, your feedback. What did you experience? What did you notice? Sharing that is also very powerful for you to help process this experience and deepen it a little bit more, and actually help it continue to be part of your experience. So please feel free to write and share your comments. I'd love to read them and understand them. And if you have any questions or any requests of what you would like to experience some of this work for, I'd love to also read about that. So please share those below and let me know what it was that you were present to. What did you notice? The quality of your experience, anything at all would be super cool to hear and connect with you on. And if you know anyone that can benefit from this, maybe consider sharing this with them. It can give them the opportunity to de-stress a little bit, to relax. And that is my commitment, is to bring this work deeper and wider into the world, that more people like you and the people that you love and care about can experience greater freedom within and greater freedom without. All right, sending blessings your way. I'm Vince Polito. Thank you for allowing me to share this inner coaching process with you. I look forward to connecting with you in the next video, or perhaps at one of our events, or in any other way. If you'd like to inquire about some coaching one-to-one, if you need some support in that regard and you want to go a lot deeper personally, you can reach out to me. You can comment, or you can send me an email at vince@innercoachingacademy.com. And I'll happily start a conversation with you. We'll explore what's possible and see if this is a right fit for you, and we'll create something. All right. Looking forward to getting to know you better. Thank you so very much for being here. Sending blessings your way.